What if the quietest person you know is hiding the darkest secret imaginable? Freddy is a shy, lonely dentist who seems harmless to everyone around him. But beneath his calm and innocent smile lies a terrifying truth that no one could ever suspect. One shocking encounter changes his life forever, leading him down a path filled with obsession, betrayal, and deadly consequences. You're watching Indian Movie Recap. Stay with me until the very end because every twist in this story is more disturbing than the last. If you enjoy suspense and thriller movie recaps like this, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Indian Movie Recap for more incredible stories. Now, let's dive into the twisted world of Freddy. The story begins with a 30-year-old dentist named Freddy. Despite being handsome, well-groomed, and successful in his profession, he has never been able to find a life partner. In fact, his only true companion is a pet tortoise named Hardy, who keeps him company through his lonely days. Hoping to find someone special, Freddy created a profile on a popular matchmaking website years ago. But even after 5 long years, he still hasn't met the woman he's been dreaming of. The biggest problem isn't his looks, it's his personality. Whenever Freddy tries to talk to a woman, his confidence disappears. He becomes extremely nervous, struggles to hold a conversation, and ends up making an awkward first impression. Even so, he never gives up. Every time he matches with someone, he invites her to the same little cafe where he's been going for the past 3 years. By now, the cafe staff know him all too well. They've watched countless dates end the same way, with the woman politely rejecting Freddy and walking away. Over time, his repeated failures have even become a source of amusement for the staff, who quietly laugh at his bad luck. One day, Freddy meets another woman who agreed to see him after coming across his profile online. For a brief moment, he hopes this meeting will finally change his life, but just like all the others before her, she quickly loses interest, rejects him, and walks away, leaving Freddy alone once again with nothing but disappointment and heartbreak. The next morning, Freddy's aunt asks him how his date went. With a disappointed smile, he simply replies that he isn't sure. The truth is, Freddy lost both of his parents when he was just a child. Ever since then, his elderly aunt has raised him like her own son. But now, as she grows older, her biggest wish is to see Freddy settle down and start a family before it's too late. A few days later, she takes him to a wedding, hoping he might finally meet someone special. While looking around the venue, she notices a beautiful young woman and quietly nudges Freddy, insisting that the girl has been looking at him. Believing his aunt, Freddy nervously gathers the courage to approach her. With his usual awkwardness, he politely asks why she was staring at him. The woman looks confused and calmly tells him that she wasn't looking at him at all. Before Freddy can recover from the embarrassing misunderstanding, the woman's husband suddenly walks over. Misinterpreting the situation, he angrily grabs his wife, insults Freddy, and without giving him a chance to explain, slaps him so hard that Freddy falls to the ground in front of everyone. Humiliated and heartbroken once again, Freddy silently picks himself up, realizing that even when he tries his best, life somehow finds another way to embarrass him. That night, Freddy can't stop thinking about the woman he met at the wedding. She appears in his dreams, and it's clear that he has already started developing feelings for her. The next day, while working at his dental clinic, he's stunned to see the very same woman walk through the door. For a moment, Freddy wonders if he's still dreaming, but when she smiles and softly says, "Hello," he realizes this isn't a dream at all. She's really standing right in front of him. She explains that her friend Lucy recommended his clinic because she's been having trouble with one of her teeth. As Freddy begins her treatment, they finally introduce themselves properly, and he learns that her name is Kainaaz. Although he tries to stay professional, he can't hide how happy he is to see her again. After the appointment, Freddy secretly notes down her address from her dental records. The following day, unable to get her out of his mind, he quietly follows her home. From a distance, he watches as she enters the house. Moments later, he notices something horrifying through a window. Kainaaz's husband is violently abusing her. The sight leaves Freddy devastated. Every instinct tells him to rush inside and stop the man, but he knows that acting impulsively could make things even worse. With great difficulty, he controls his emotions and walks away, though the painful image continues to haunt him. That night, Freddy has a disturbing nightmare that takes him back to his childhood. He relives the traumatic memories of growing up in a home filled with constant arguments and violence. His parents were always fighting, and one horrifying day, his father murdered his mother before taking his own life. The tragedy left deep emotional scars on Freddy. From that moment on, he became withdrawn, struggled to trust people, and chose a life of loneliness. He never had close friends, and over the years, he found comfort only in isolation. The next day, Freddy waits at his dental clinic, hoping Kainaaz will return for her follow-up appointment. But hours pass, and she never shows up. Worried about her, he finally gathers the courage to call her. Kainaaz quietly explains that her husband has forbidden her from leaving the house, so she couldn't come to the clinic. Unable to stop thinking about her, Freddy drives to her neighborhood and waits nearby. After making sure her husband isn't watching, Kainaaz secretly steps outside to meet him. As they finally stand face to face, Freddy realizes that the pain he witnessed the previous day wasn't just a one-time incident. She is trapped in an abusive marriage with no way out. The moment Freddy notices the bruises on Kainaaz's face, he doesn't need an explanation to understand what has happened. Even so, he gently asks how she got hurt. After a brief silence, Kainaaz quietly admits that her husband was responsible. She tells Freddy that this isn't the first time. He beats her on a regular basis, and she has learned to suffer in silence. Hearing this breaks Freddy's heart. From that day on, Freddy's feelings for Kainaaz grow even stronger. He starts taking extra care of his appearance, dressing more confidently, because for the first time in his life, he's in love. Almost every evening, he finds himself standing outside her house, hoping to catch just a glimpse of her. Even seeing her for a few seconds is enough to brighten his entire day. When Freddy's aunt once again asks if he has finally found someone he wants to marry, he smiles and tells her that he has met a woman he truly loves and hopes to marry her soon. As time passes, Freddy and Kainaaz begin meeting more frequently. Their conversations become longer, their bond grows deeper, and they slowly become an important part of each other's lives. But Kainaaz's nightmare continues. One day, Freddy notices fresh bruises on her body once again. Unable to watch her suffer any longer, he asks what her husband actually does for a living. Kainaaz tells him that he owns a large and successful restaurant, but behind that respectable image hides a cruel and violent man who turns her life into a living hell every single day. Unable to watch Kainaaz suffer any longer, Freddy tells her that the only way to end her nightmare is to get rid of her abusive husband forever. At first, Kainaaz is horrified by the idea and begs him not to do anything reckless, but Freddy refuses to let her continue living in fear. After several emotional conversations, Kainaaz finally gives in. Before they part ways, she tells Freddy that they shouldn't contact each other for the next few days so that no one becomes suspicious. Freddy then begins carefully studying her husband's daily routine. He follows him from a distance and soon discovers that every night, after closing his restaurant and finishing dinner, the man goes out alone for a walk. Freddy patiently waits for the perfect opportunity. One night, everything goes according to his plan. As Kainaaz's husband walks along a quiet road, Freddy suddenly accelerates his car and crashes into him. The impact throws the man onto the road, but to Freddy's surprise, he's still alive and struggling to get up. Realizing that leaving him alive could destroy everything, Freddy makes a terrifying decision. He drives the car forward once again, running over him to make sure there are no survivors. Within moments, the man is dead. Believing that Kainaaz is finally free from the nightmare she had been living through, Freddy quietly leaves the city and spends the next week at his late mother's farmhouse, creating distance between himself and the crime. For the first time in years, he feels strangely peaceful. He enjoys the silence, convinced that he has removed the biggest obstacle standing between him and the woman he loves. A week later, Freddy goes to Kainaaz's house, excited to see her again. He rings the doorbell, expecting her to welcome him with a smile. But when the door opens, a complete stranger is standing there. Before Freddy can say anything, the man casually calls out, "Baby, someone's here." Moments later, Kainaaz walks to the door. The moment Freddy sees the way they behave around each other, his heart sinks. Confused and devastated, he asks who the man is. Without any hesitation, Kainaaz calmly tells him the truth. The man is her boyfriend. She reveals that they had been in a relationship long before her marriage, and that everything she did was part of a carefully planned scheme. She admits that she only used Freddy to get rid of her abusive husband because she knew he was lonely, emotionally vulnerable, and deeply in love with her. Hearing those words shatters Freddy completely. He can't believe that the woman he was willing to sacrifice everything for had manipulated him from the very beginning. The boyfriend then steps forward and mocks Freddy without showing the slightest bit of sympathy. He explains that they possess enough evidence to prove Freddy murdered Kainaaz's husband in order to be with her. However, they have no intention of going to the police. Instead, they simply warn Freddy to stay out of their lives forever before throwing him out of the house. Heartbroken beyond words, Freddy returns home in complete silence. He collapses onto the floor and breaks down, overwhelmed by betrayal, guilt, and the realization that the woman he truly loved had only treated him as a pawn in her deadly plan. Meanwhile, after her husband's death, ownership of the restaurant is legally transferred to Kainaaz. The very next day, Freddy quietly walks into the restaurant, takes a seat like an ordinary customer, and orders an ice cream. But beneath his calm expression, something has changed forever. The innocent, lonely man is gone, and a far more dangerous side of Freddy has begun to emerge. When Freddy walks into the restaurant, Kainaaz and her boyfriend immediately notice him. They exchange uneasy looks before walking over to his table, demanding to know why he has come back. Keeping his emotions under control, Freddy quietly says that he only wants one thing. He asks Kainaaz to apologize just once, promising that if she does, he'll disappear from her life forever and never bother her again. But instead of showing any remorse, her boyfriend loses his temper. He grabs Freddy, humiliates him in front of everyone, and warns that if he ever returns, they'll hand all the evidence over to the police and make sure he spends the rest of his life behind bars. Freddy doesn't argue. Without saying another word, he calmly leaves the restaurant. But beneath that calm exterior, a dangerous plan has already begun to take shape. Determined to make Kainaaz pay for betraying him, Freddy starts planning his revenge with the same precision he uses in his profession. He carefully reviews Kainaaz's dental records and notices an important detail in her medical history. She suffers from a severe allergic condition. Realizing this could become the key to his plan, Freddy secretly arranges a duplicate key to her house. One day, when no one is home, he quietly slips inside. His first move is to mix sedative medication into the food stored inside the refrigerator. After that, he walks into the bathroom and secretly contaminates Kainaaz's body lotion with a chemical that he knows could trigger a serious allergic reaction. Finally, he searches through the house and removes all of her anti-allergy medication, making sure that if the reaction begins, she won't have the medicine needed to stop it. Every step is carefully calculated, and Freddy leaves the house without a single trace, setting his revenge into motion. That night, after eating the drugged food, Kainaaz and her boyfriend both fall into a deep sleep. Knowing this is his only opportunity, Freddy quietly breaks into the house once again. Using Kainaaz's phone, he sends himself a message asking to borrow his car, creating a false trail that could later work in his favor. Before leaving, he also deletes every photo and video stored on her phone that could connect him to the murder of her husband. But Freddy isn't finished yet. He walks outside and secretly tampers with the brakes of their car before disappearing into the night. The next morning, everything begins unfolding exactly as he had planned. As soon as Kainaaz wakes up, the contaminated lotion triggers a severe allergic reaction. Panic spreads through the house as she struggles to breathe. With no anti-allergy medicine left, her boyfriend rushes her into the car, desperate to get her to a hospital as quickly as possible. But moments later, disaster strikes. Because the brakes have been sabotaged, the car loses control and crashes. Although both of them survive the accident, they are left badly shaken. Just when they think the worst is over, another problem hits them the very next day. They receive an urgent call from the restaurant informing them that their business is in serious trouble. Someone has posted a viral review online claiming to have found a dead lizard in the food. The shocking photo spreads rapidly across social media, destroying the restaurant's reputation overnight. Customers begin canceling their reservations, and the restaurant is suddenly left almost empty. Rushing to the restaurant in panic, Kainaaz and her boyfriend stare at the viral post in disbelief. Their business, their reputation, and everything they worked for is falling apart, and they have no idea that every disaster happening around them is part of Freddy's carefully planned revenge. When Kainaaz sees the viral photo, she immediately turns on her boyfriend, accusing him of ruining everything. Furious, she demands to know if he was responsible. But he denies it, reminding her that if he had wanted to destroy the restaurant, he wouldn't still be standing by her side. As they try to figure out who could be behind all of this, only one name comes to their minds: Freddy. Suspicious, Kainaaz rushes to the restaurant manager and shows him Freddy's photograph. She asks if he was the customer who had recently visited the restaurant. The manager confirms that it was indeed the same man. Convinced that Freddy is taking revenge, Kainaaz and her boyfriend drive straight to his house in a fit of rage. What they don't realize is that Freddy has already planned for this. Before they arrive, he anonymously calls the police, pretending to be a concerned neighbor reporting a disturbance. The moment Kainaaz and her boyfriend force their way into the house, they begin attacking Freddy without giving him a chance to speak. Just then, the police arrive at the scene. Trying to turn the situation in their favor, they tell the officers that Freddy has been stalking Kainaaz for weeks and even claim that he murdered her husband. The officers immediately ask if they have any evidence to support such serious accusations. Confidently, they reach for Kainaaz's phone, expecting to show the photos and videos they had saved. But to their shock, every single file has disappeared. Freddy had already erased them during his secret visit to the house. With no evidence left, the police refuse to believe their story. Instead, the officers point out that Freddy is a respected dentist with a clean reputation and that they cannot arrest someone based only on accusations. Before leaving, the police ask Freddy if he wants to file a complaint against the couple for breaking into his house and assaulting him. But Freddy calmly declines. He says he doesn't want any legal action against them. Seeing no grounds for further action, the officers simply warn Kainaaz and her boyfriend to stay away from Freddy before sending them home, completely unaware that they have just become part of his carefully orchestrated revenge. After the confrontation with the police, Kainaaz and her boyfriend return home furious. Realizing that Freddy has outsmarted them once again, they begin discussing how to strike back before he can make another move. Meanwhile, Freddy is out for a walk with his elderly aunt. During their conversation, he finally asks her a question that has haunted him since childhood. He wants to know if the rumors about his mother were true. After a long silence, his aunt admits the painful truth. Freddy's mother had fallen in love with another man and had planned to leave her abusive husband, taking young Freddy with her. But when Freddy's father discovered the affair, he shot her in a fit of rage before taking his own life. Hearing the truth confirms everything Freddy had feared, forcing him to relive the trauma that shaped the person he has become. Later that day, Freddy returns home only to find his house completely ransacked. Furniture is overturned, belongings are scattered everywhere, and lying in the middle of the room is a single bullet. Freddy immediately understands who was behind the warning. Instead of panicking, he calmly picks up his phone and calls Kainaaz. In a cold, calculated voice, he tells her that he received their message loud and clear. Then, without changing his tone, he adds that since they left a bullet in his house, he decided to leave a snake in theirs. He advises them to be careful. The call ends before Kainaaz can respond. The words terrify her. She instantly imagines a deadly snake hiding somewhere inside the house. Panicked, she begs her boyfriend to leave immediately and spend the night in a hotel until they're sure the house is safe. Unknown to them, Freddy never placed any snake inside the house. It was nothing more than a psychological trick. But the fear he planted in their minds is powerful enough to control their every move, proving that sometimes the greatest weapon isn't violence, it's fear itself. Then Kainaaz suddenly remembers something. During the phone call, Freddy had only mentioned the bullet left in his house. He never said a single word about his pet tortoise, Hardy. Smirking, she calls Freddy and cruelly reveals that she and her boyfriend had cooked Hardy into a soup earlier that day, and that it tasted delicious. The moment Freddy hears those words, his world falls apart. Hardy wasn't just a pet, he was the only companion who had stayed by his side through years of loneliness. Losing him leaves Freddy emotionally shattered, but instead of reacting with anger, he quietly decides that it's time to end the game once and for all. Freddy immediately begins preparing the final stage of his revenge. He asks the caretaker of his farmhouse to leave the property vacant for an entire week, explaining that he wants to spend some time there completely alone. In reality, the farmhouse is about to become part of a much larger plan. The following day, Freddy pays a homeless man to visit the police station with a fabricated story. The man claims that he witnessed a murder involving a car belonging to a dentist. As expected, the police question Freddy about the allegation. Remaining calm, Freddy shows them the text message Kainaaz had sent from her phone asking to borrow his car. He explains that after lending it to her, the vehicle was returned in a damaged condition. According to Freddy, Kainaaz and her boyfriend repeatedly threatened him and warned him not to report anything to the police. His statement appears consistent, and without realizing they're being manipulated, the officers begin believing that Freddy is the victim, while Kainaaz and her boyfriend are the ones hiding something. Meanwhile, Freddy makes one final phone call to Kainaaz. In a calm but chilling voice, he tells her that he has already handed all the evidence over to the police and that it's only a matter of time before the officers come looking for her. Panic immediately sets in. Before she can respond, Freddy offers what seems like the only way out. He says he's alone at his farmhouse and is willing to help them escape before the police arrive. However, he asks Kainaaz to bring a large empty suitcase because he needs to transport some of his late mother's belongings and forgot to bring one with him. Believing Freddy has fallen into their trap, Kainaaz and her boyfriend decide to eliminate him once and for all. They drive straight to the farmhouse, unaware that they're walking into a trap of their own. Freddy is already waiting for them. He welcomes them inside, prepares drinks, and deliberately places his revolver on the table where they can easily see it. Unable to resist the opportunity, Kainaaz quickly grabs the gun and pulls the trigger. But nothing happens. The gun isn't loaded. Before either of them can react, Freddy overpowers them and renders them unconscious. When they wake up, they find themselves tightly tied to separate chairs inside the farmhouse. Freddy stands silently in front of them before telling them that their time has finally run out. Terror fills Kainaaz's face as she realizes there's no escape. Freddy then asks her one final question that has been haunting him ever since Hardy's death. He wants to know whether they killed his beloved tortoise before cutting it up or while it was still alive. Looking directly into her eyes, he says that she'll experience the same pain they forced his only companion to endure. What follows marks the darkest moment of Freddy's transformation. Consumed by revenge, he brutally tortures the couple before, making them disappear forever, ensuring that no trace of them is left behind. At the same time, the police arrive at Kainaaz's house to continue their investigation. While reviewing the neighborhood's CCTV footage, they notice Kainaaz and her boyfriend leaving with a large suitcase before mysteriously vanishing. To the investigators, it appears as though the couple fled the city to escape the law. No one suspects what truly happened. Only Freddy knows the horrifying truth, and he intends to keep that secret buried forever.
And that brings us to the end of the unbelievable story of Freddy. If you enjoyed this movie recap, be sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments which plot twist shocked you the most. And for more thrilling movie recaps like this, don't forget to subscribe to Indian Movie Recap and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next recap.